so they kind of have a realistic expectations, and usually you exceed them. Where a lot of people in the area, it's, they're trying to just get the jobs in, so they'll usually tell you what you want to hear. And then a lot of people over the years, it's been, they've liked that I've educated them, where I take the time, whether they're doing just the coating, whether it's tint or other stuff, I'll sit with them after or before and kind of just educate them how to maintain it, how to care for it. So I think people appreciate that you're taking the time to help them protect their investment more and get the most out of their money. My name is Joey Wallace. Shop now is Tint Near Me in Crofton, Maryland, just outside DC. So, and I previously owned Rise and Shine Detailing that was around since 2013.
Things in the area that you're in?
I'd say your normal, I guess it's not even a small, it's like normal suburban area, because you're kind of nestled in between, it's like dead center between DC and Baltimore. So you kind of, and then Annapolis, which is the capital. So you're kind of central to all that, but it's just a stretch of probably 10 miles, and it's super built up now, shopping centers, restaurants, and it's, a lot of single family homes, but nothing crazy like, like the city, but it's still pretty populated, but probably just a normal suburban type area, relatively quiet and everything.
Okay. Single man operation, you guys have any team members?
So it's just me right now. I just started basically back up 3 months ago.
Okay.
And then it's just me, and then I do the tint, PPFs, ceramic coatings too, trying to do a little less of the like interior detailings, but I just figured this time around, instead of focusing so much on making a fancy name, I was kind of like, oh, what's something that will pop up every time and take everyone else's SEO and make me pop up? So I kind of did, the Tint Near Me.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just a one-man show right now.
You said started this one about 3 months ago, but
yeah, so started off 2013. I was part-time then because I was working at a shop turning wrenches, and then I basically was just to get extra money because we weren't making much money. So it's kind of like, I heard someone say someone's going to charge them like $200 to detail. I was like, I could clean your car. And then that kind of just started that, where then I started doing cars on the weekends, and then went full-time with that. It was like 2017, after a couple years of just working on the weekends, or a lot of times overnight. I'd work from 8 to 6, then go sometimes to a shop, work 7 at night till 5 in the morning, like do paint corrections, and then I'd go right back, like sometimes sleep for an hour if I got home, or just go right back to work. And it was, you're killing yourself, but like you were just doing what you had to.
the scene?
Yeah, I've always I feel like been in the cars. I don't think anyone in my family was necessarily like, it's not like they were like big into like racing them or souping them up. But I'd probably got into it mainly because when I was younger, my dad, when he'd wash his car, I'd help him, and that was fun there, just clean the cars. And then I naturally, as I got older, kind of I think gravitated towards it, people I hung out with, and you kind of get into the car scene and kind of get your own interest, and kind of went down that rabbit hole. And then of course I think it helps, like when you're broke, you're like, oh, I'll fix my own car, so then you get more into it too. So, but yeah, it's, I'd say yeah, because of helping him. And I'd say for the detailing side on that, if you're not getting bothered and it's just you can put on headphones and like polish and stuff like that, I'd say it can be pretty relaxing. Some paints, some cars can be a little more of a pain, but overall it's pretty relaxing. I enjoy it. It's fun to do, pass the time, and you kind of like enjoy the results, the before, the after. It's cool to show someone, oh, how bad this was, or you hear people say, oh, I don't think my car is savable, and then being able to do a complete 180 and kind of make them think it looks better than when it did new, and just see their shock. It's kind of rewarding. I would say it's kind of like the same thing Corey and CarPro does. I try to undersell it. I don't try to necessarily sell them the world or set expectations really high and tell them something unrealistic. I try to be realistic with them of, oh, this might not come out. Just kind of set the bar a little low so they kind of have a realistic expectations, and usually you exceed them. Where a lot of people in the area, it's, they're trying to just get the jobs in, so they'll usually tell you what you want to hear. And then a lot of people over the years, it's been, they've liked that I've educated them, where I take the time, whether they're doing just the coating, whether it's tint or other stuff, I'll sit with them after or before and kind of just educate them how to maintain it, how to care for it. So I think people appreciate that you're taking the time to help them protect their investment more and get the most out of their money.
Found out about CarPro, how you found out about Corey?
So when I started 2013, I want to say then, I could probably count maybe on one hand how many coatings were on the market then, and CarPro was kind of the one. They were the only one really around, and most of the guys who had been around for a while were doing CQUARTZ finest. A lot of detailers I'd watch or kind of follow, just see it was everyone doing CarPro, so it was kind of, that was the goal in a way, to be like, oh, I want to get CarPro. And I remember even at that point when I was part-time, I'd be emailing Corey and, hey, how could I become CQUARTZ finest or even microfiber madness, like just to be something like, you need to have a brick and mortar and be full-time. And I remember telling him, like, I think I used my work address, even though I was part-time. I was like, well, I have this address, and kind of tricked Corey in a way of like, hey, I could do it, like, just because I wanted to be a part of it. But just that's how I kind of heard about it, and then chatting to Corey through emails. And even at that time, I think that's when it was mainly just him, so you could reach him on his cell phone if you needed to, and just picking his brain over the years or any issues and stuff. He was always available, and just kind of grew as years went on. You just talked to him more and more.
Of like coming to Verge and being a part of the network and being part of the chats.
It's definitely helped. I would say it's this industry, especially now, it's grown so much, and a lot of it's good and bad. There's sometimes a lot of riffraff in other groups, and I mean, in that, Corey's very straightforward. No one really has a lot of riffraff. It's all mainly business, how to help grow your business, issues with the coding. Everyone's very helpful. Corey's always usually available, or now, like with multiple people there, Alex, all of them, all you guys are usually available. But it's helped, and then since he's done such a good job of growing the name and standing behind it over the last decade or more, it's definitely helped when customers, now they know the name, they know the reputation. So when you're a shop with that name and on your building, they kind of feel a little better. Like, they obviously trust you, but then when you're using a brand that they heard of and know has a good reputation, it makes them feel a little better too, because now you have, I think, like 1 million coatings out there, so it's very confusing for them, where you don't know what's good or what's going to hold up. I guess for them, it's obviously, I guess, to feel like you got your money's worth out of it. I mean, you don't want anyone to ever feel that they purchased something, they got ripped off, or didn't get what they paid for. So it's that's kind of like, I guess, always that they're happy with it. And that's kind of going back to what I said, taking that time to just educate them and just telling them. And I kind of picked their brain to say, oh, well, what do you know about ceramic coatings? What have you heard? What is your expectation out of it? And just sometimes, spending that 20, 30 minutes with them, it may, rule them out to say, oh, well, maybe a coating's not best for you, because they think it's going to protect rock chips, scratches, stuff like that. I just want them to feel happy and that it was worth the investment for them. So, everyone knows about that tattoo, I guess, because I posted.
Is there any meaning behind it? Is it just something cool that you wanted to do, or is it something that you're passionate about? Obviously, it's a very big piece, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, tattoos, I'd say that's probably, like, behind cars. Like, I'm almost like a collector of it, of tattoos in general. So it's like, I got the kneecaps, the legs, my hands now, and then the front piece, that I wanted to do because my grandma on my mom's side, she's from Thailand. So then I'm a quarter Thai. So my one buddy who owns a tattoo shop, He's Thai too, so I wanted to kind of do a Thai piece just for the heritage and have that with kind of his twist of the new school style. And it was just something I'd always look in the mirror and I'd have the empty space, and I kind of one day was like, I think I want to just cover it up and get that done. Because like my end goal, I feel like ever since I was younger, I was like, I just want to be covered in tattoos. And I just finally pulled the plug or pulled the trigger. And once he did it and started, I was like, well, it's too late now. So, but yeah, that one's more just because of the family heritage being Thai, and I just wanted to have some Thai piece and fill up that space.
Any other specific ones that have a lot of meaning to you, or that might have more representation than others? They all have a story.
They all have different stories. Some are just random ones that I'm like, oh, that looks cool, or I wanted this. I have one for my grandpa on my dad's side. He passed away in 2012, so I have a anchor over there with his birth date and then death date too. So that one means a lot. And then, yeah, a lot of the other ones, they all have different stories. Like my left leg, I've kind of dedicated that one where every different state I go to, I'll get a tattoo. So that's kind of fun where it's like, oh, I got that in this state and different artists. But yeah, they all have either some different story or at least a travel story where like, oh, I went here and did this. And just kind of going with the flow, because me and my wife like to travel. So it's whenever we have time, like, you know, if I go there and I have time, I'll try to set it up. There's some states before I even start doing it that I have to almost go back and get some, but it's just, yeah, as we travel to a state, if there's something that interests us there, I'm like, oh, if I haven't been here, let me get some tattoo. So that I found out the hard way, if anything, like, because with the first business with that I basically ran myself into the ground where, you know, I feel like the problem is too, is everyone on social media, everyone's just, oh, hustle hard, work hard, do this, and they kind of praise you if you work late, or, oh, I worked from 6 a.m. and I'm here till 10. So you kind of get this stigma of, oh, I need to do that. If I'm not working hard, I'm not what these people, you know, are putting out there. And you can do it for a while, but as you get older, you start burning yourself out. You stressed out, you start getting more annoyed, everything starts bothering you more, your body falls apart. And that's what was kind of happening with me. I was just got burnt out where every day I was miserable. I didn't want to do anything. I'd have a car, like, I don't want to clean it. It's like I didn't want to be there. So I kind of just pushed yourself to that point of where you got tired with it, took almost a year off, went work somewhere, and I was like, well, this sucks too. And then I'm like, if I'm going to be stressed out there, at least own my own business again and do it again. And this time I kind of just taken certain differences of, instead of having a cell phone where everyone can reach me with the business, having a landline where after 5 it cuts off there. And then I try to set the hours where I leave when we close. Sometimes, you used to obviously stay 30, 45 minutes, but I think since I started back up, there's only been probably one night I stayed late and kind of finished up a car. And then some weekends recently I've done stuff for like commercial jobs, but I try not to work the weekends and just try to create boundaries with yourself. Because I mean, it's like I heard Dave Ramsey say it, usually you think it's the best thing of working for yourself, but you find out you're an even harder boss on yourself, where you just keep pushing it and basically you work yourself to the brink. And I did that once and don't want to do it again. That's why, I try not to look at all that stuff. People on social media praising working long hours, where I'm like, I like the guy who goes in at 8, he's out by 5. It's like, and he can have a balance at home. So you just kind of keep telling yourself I gotta go, I have tomorrow. And sometimes you gotta make that tough phone call. If it's like, hey, this is gonna push it back, I'll call and say it's gonna be a little later. And most people understand. But I feel like when you're first starting out, you panic and don't think that'll happen. So.
Or some of them just people that are newer to the super coating scene that are looking to get a service done?
It's a good mix, I'd say. Some customers, it's been going on almost 10 years now that I've known or done stuff too, and you kind of build those relationships where you've been to their house, you met their kids, they offer you, oh, go out to dinner, so you're kind of hanging out with them outside the business sometimes. And I've built that with a handful of customers. And then there's some that you see a little more regular, just strictly at the business. And then of course you get the balance of new people who they either word of mouth heard about you, or they find you on Google and they're like, oh, I'm new to this, what's PPF? Or especially with Tint, everyone's like, oh, I just found you and I just got a new car. So it's a good mix, but a lot of them I'd say are a little more, at least I've known them for a couple years or longer. Piece of advice I'd give them that I think a lot of people still do wrong, even well-established businesses, I'd say spend the time and the money to build your brand instead of someone else's. I see a lot of people now that have businesses, and I know more about the brands that they install, whether it's CarPro, Expel, Suntech, Lumar, any of those brands. I know more about the brands they install than I do about their brand, where then I've learned over the years a lot of people don't necessarily care sometimes about the brand. Some do, but they care or trust you. So I'd say spend the time to build your brand, your name, get branding done of, wash guides, hang tags, all that stuff, just to kind of separate you from the business. And that's the small stuff that will remind people of you, and then your name, your number, and then be able to remember you. I'm Joey Wallace. I work at Tint Near Me, and I'm Team CQUARTZ.